As Miley says, we'll wait and see what Israel and Iran say.
We were still waiting on the impact of the initial US strikes on Iran as well, and what sort of damage they did on those enriched uranium stockpiles, and whether or not they had been moved out. Really interesting. Still a lot of questions to be asked.
But as Keir mentioned, the Israelis still have a lot of unfinished business, especially when it comes to that uranium that nobody knows where it's gone. So,
right.
I mean, it's unclear where this is all going to be going from here. It all starts 6 hours from now, according to the president. Again, we haven't heard anything from the Israelis. It's very late here, 1:30, so we might not hear anything. But it's going to be before dawn when this ceasefire actually starts, or around dawn. So this country is going to be experiencing quite a bit of whiplash in the next couple of hours.
And we are just receiving word about a possible ceasefire between Israel and Iran.
According to the president, 24 hours after the ceasefire begins, the fighting between the two countries will end. A U.S. official and other sources say while the president reserves the right to respond, there are no active plans for the United States to retaliate at this time.
This is just out of the White House, where President Donald Trump announced a, quote, complete and total ceasefire. In a post on Truth Social, the president says the ceasefire is agreed on by Israel and Iran. The president detailed that Iran will start the ceasefire, followed by Israel in about 6 hours from now. President Trump says this will mark the end of the 12-day war. But this ceasefire comes after a day of Iranian airstrikes targeting U.S. forces in Qatar.
Iran's retaliation is underway. Iranian armed forces saying it targeted the Al Udeid air base in Qatar after the U.S. bombed 3 nuclear facilities over the weekend. U.S. officials say they had been notified of threats against U.S. forces on bases in Bahrain as well as other countries in the Middle East.
So, he says, the war which was considered is ending. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I'd like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war, he's gone on to say. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. So that points to a ceasefire, even with hour marks on it. That just in from Donald Trump.
It appeared that they were looking for an off-ramp out of this conflict, and with this development, it appears that there is now going to be this ceasefire. The big questions that we don't have is there now going to be a nuclear deal? We know that Donald Trump has said that Iran cannot enrich uranium, a key step to developing a nuclear weapon. We will have to wait and see if that is going to be negotiated and if there is going to be a deal as a result of this ceasefire. Guys.
This is what Donald Trump wanted, Miley. So interesting, though, the change of attitude and how quickly it's all calm. In that message, it said this is a war that could have gone for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world. What a turnaround in tension.
Donald Trump will certainly be attempting to frame this as a win for America politically and militarily. He said that he wanted to go in and hit those sites. He didn't want to go into a long, drawn-out war. We can assume that that's how he will be framing this. He is now trying to transition out of this conflict into what appears to be a peacemaker by saying that they have now agreed to this ceasefire. I will say we don't have that confirmation from Israel and Iran that they have also agreed to this. We haven't heard from Iran's supreme leader in a couple of days now, so it's unclear what his stance is going to be on this. We'll have to wait and see what Iran and what Israel are going to say about this apparent ceasefire. Okay, it's apparently happening in 6 hours' time.
What do you think? Can it hold?
Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible. The United States isn't even talking to Iran. You heard Secretary of State Rubio say that over the weekend. I'd like to hear the Iranians say it and the Israelis say it as well. I think it's not, frankly, in Israel's best interest to stop anything right now. We don't know whether exactly the United States did eradicate the Iranian nuclear capability or not. So there's a lot of unknowns there. I understand his desire to try to stop it, and he uses the word ceasefire, and only Donald Trump can put out a tweet like that. But I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Well, I mean, he goes on to say it's been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran. And he goes on to say various levels of the ceasefire, 6 hours from now, 12 hours from now, in what will officially be known as a 12-day war, if you like. I mean... Yeah,
he's got it already marketed and everything.
He's marketed, yeah. So, I mean, is it possible?
Yeah, I mean, again, all cards on the table. I don't see it. It's not that I don't want to see a peaceful solution here. I mean, I don't see how Iran, for the past 47 years, in their DNA, is an enemy, a sworn enemy of the United States. And I just don't see them flipping this switch to this some kind of peace. The only peace that the Israelis are going to agree to is unlimited inspections of Iran's facilities. And, there's a lot of other things that Israel is going to be looking for from the Iranian government that frankly, they're not part of the international community. Donald Trump has called them a bully before. I don't see how that tiger changes their stripes or spots or what, pick your adjective there. I'm just floored by it, and I just hope it's going to be something of the truth, but I'm very skeptical still.
Well, I mean, let's get to the attack now on the American base in Qatar this morning. So, I mean, it's interesting in the New York Times. It's running a story at the moment that Iran actually coordinated the attacks on the American airbase with Qatari officials and gave advance notice that the attacks were coming to minimise casualties. And the officials said that Iran symbolically needed to strike back to allow all sides an exit ramp.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Again, it's like, missile attack Kabuki theater. I'm sorry. I just don't accept the fact that somebody fires missiles at us and we're okay with it on any level. So, after Soleimani was killed in 19, it took them 5 days to come up with a solution. I understand that they have to try to save face based on this Middle Eastern, crazy way to negotiate. But again, I'm in the camp that says you fire missiles at us no matter what, we have the right to respond. And Trump didn't. We're obviously on the escalation ladder. At least this president decided to take out that nuclear capability. I think maybe that's all that Israel really wanted to have comfort with, because that was the existential threat. Maybe that's all they'll get from this, but they want more. They definitely want regime change. I think they would go after the supreme leader if they could. So from my perspective, again, I'm just surprised that we're playing this game with these people.
So do you think there should be a response to that attack, which was thwarted this morning, even though Donald Trump seems to be, okay with it, calling it weak, but pointing to peace?
Yeah, I mean, considering that it was coordinated, I don't know what our response would be. Our response would be another act of, warfare that we just don't need to execute. Our mission was clearly only on the nuclear facilities. I mean, I'm sure we watched on satellites them lining up to shoot those missiles. If we wanted to, we could have intercepted them before they left the launch pad, similar to what Israel's been doing already inside of Iran. Again, it's missile attack Kabuki theater, and I just don't understand this as part of warfare, given what the situation is.
Do you think their nuclear capabilities and facilities have been wiped out? Have they been obliterated, or has it just merely been set back?
Well, they've been set back, and historians are going to look back at times when the quote unquote the can gets kicked down the road. You look at U.S. history, for example, the fact that the U.S. history doesn't solve slavery when it's founded and we have a civil war. The can got kicked down the road. Well, the can got kicked down the road in 2015 with the JCPOA. Because right now, if that agreement was still in place, Iran could be fully enriching nuclear weapons and be on their way and path to a bomb. So all I did was delay, and I think now this attack clearly kicks the can down the road again, but the question is how long? The nuclear genie's out of the bottle. Everybody knows how to make a nuke. The question is, what kind of facilities do they have left to do it?